I wanted to give you an update. Remember outside the New Hampshire State Capitol, there was a Baphomet statue? I'll show you a picture. This is what they put up a couple weeks ago. This is a statue of Baphomet outside the Capitol. This is put up by the Satanic Temple. And they said there's a nativity scene on this property. So we're going to put up this statue of Baphomet. And you can see it has the goat head. It's holding the state flower of New Hampshire. It's also holding, I believe, the red apple representing wisdom. It has the Satanic Temple's 7 fundamental tenets on a plaque, a black and white flag. I'm not sure what that symbolizes, but there you go. So they put this up there a couple weeks ago. And of course, it got vandalized. Surprise, surprise. I made a video about that. I won't rehash all of that. But the really cool thing that happened after it got vandalized is that some local artists got together and decided to fix it up. So this is version like 2.0. They put together the plaque and everything, and they put it back there, and it looked lovely. And then that one got vandalized. And where we were at the last time I made this video is that the police apparently had video footage, but we had not seen it, of the vandals doing the deed. We didn't know if anyone was a suspect or anything like that. But anyway, at the end of December, the Satanists, the permit had expired, so they had to take it down anyway. But by the time they went to take it down, it had been destroyed a few times over. And what we are waiting now is to see whether the police will actually do anything about this. Will they make any arrests? Do they have any suspects? What are they going to do? Because if you don't do anything, you're sending a sign that, all right, vandalizing a non-Christian display is perfectly fine. Well, I bring that up because recently I saw a guy, someone sent me this like a week ago, and I wasn't sure what to make of it. But now there's been more reporting on it, so I feel I can share this with you. A dude on Facebook decided to confess to doing the vandalism. It's a very strange thing to see, but this is his post on Facebook. This guy's name is Joshua Cummings, and you could see what he writes here. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but there are some important parts. Going public. I live in Concord, New Hampshire. It was I who destroyed the Satan statue in front of the state house. Other people have destroyed it on several occasions. It has basically become open season on the stupid thing at this point, but I have lost count, but did it at least 5 times. Bash it on the head with my medieval mace in the middle of the night, and I was finally apprehended by police for it a few nights ago. Well, that's interesting. He says I wasn't arrested. I was just read my rights, asked questions. I don't think charges will be pressed. And if they are, I'm sure I can cover the lawfare with some kind of crowdfunding. It'll probably go viral. And then he says what I said to the cops is the same thing I'd say before the press, that the presence of the statue hurts everyone in the city and even the whole state, that the spiritual principality is a higher order reality than the legal municipality. The cops were surprised by my answers and didn't really know how to respond. Yeah, it's because you're talking gibberish. What the hell? So this dude confesses to doing the crime, but we don't know. I don't know if he's making that up. I don't know if the police have actually arrested this guy, if they're planning to do anything with him. I will tell you that last week, I think, I did reach out to the Concord police and say, if I asked them if they'd made any arrests, if they had any leads on this. They did not respond to me. And there hasn't been any official statement from them saying they had made any arrests or anything. But here's a guy confessing to doing it. And I want to show you one other thing, which is that this Joshua Cummings dude made a video about all this. And I'm just going to show you a short clip of what he posted the other night on Facebook.
I had to destroy that statue because if I don't, if we're going to lay down and just take that, like what do they show back up next year with a beautiful marble statue of Satan? We can't let it happen. There has to be, if all of these false spiritual presences, these demonic things are about to crop up, it's time for Christians to really get serious.
Yeah. So take that as you will. This guy said it was like a 15-minute video, and it's a lot of gibberish, but he says in there he is appalled by Christians who are standing up for the Satanist First Amendment rights. He says he actually doesn't feel this way about other religions because, quote, at least they're religions and have ancient precedent. So, like, Hindus are cool with this guy, but the Satanists are brand new, so he thinks it's okay to trash them. He also said that if he does get arrested and this goes to trial and he's in court, he says, I hope my trial is televised because I want to eviscerate the Satanic Temple, which is absolutely delusional because one, if he goes on trial, this is not going to be televised. This is not an episode of Law and Order. You're not going to get your day where you get to say whatever you want to the Satanic Temple. And even if you do, what are you going to say to them that anyone cares about? That you're a religious zealot? What? I don't get it. And at the very end of this dude's video, he actually played a clip. This guy found video online on TikTok of the vandalism from a local security camera. And it turns out that video comes from a supporter of the Satanic Temple. I'm not sure where the video came from, but I saw it, and you could see someone at night rushing toward the Baphomet statue and actively destroying it. But there's no way you could tell who is under the robe. Like, it's just everything's dark. You can't see who it is. But this guy, Joshua Cummings, he does not say it's him in the video. He just said he wanted to play that video because he wanted to end his video on a light note. So let's watch the vandalism happen. Oh. One thing I found disturbing in his video is that he said he thinks the police are on his side. And the reason he thinks that is because the mayor of Concord, Byron Champlin, I mentioned this in my last video, he told the media, the mayor did, that he would never have approved the Satanic Temple's request for whatever reason, because he didn't want the satanic statue outside the state capitol. And this is a perfect example of why elected officials, regardless of their personal beliefs, need to openly defend the First Amendment and religious freedom for everybody, even if that means defending a group that's not popular. Because here's a mayor that didn't do that and said, yeah, I don't like the Satanists. I wouldn't have approved this. And then you have the vandals saying, I think all these guys are on my side. And right now he kind of has a point because he hasn't been charged with anything as far as we know. It lets religious zealots like that guy think their actions will be forgiven. I also reached out to that guy, by the way. I wanted to know more. He did not respond to any of my requests for comments. Like, why doesn't anyone respond to me? Guys, talk to me. I just want to point out one other thing, which is this guy is very clearly an Orthodox Christian zealot, but there have been two other instances where a display has been vandalized. Last year in Iowa's state capitol, there was a Baphomet statue there, and a Christian guy named Michael Cassidy, who's a former Republican candidate for Congress, he vandalized that statue. And his lawyer said in court that he was motivated by his Christian faith to peacefully protest a display that is a direct affront to God. Peacefully protest by destroying it and breaking it. Now, that guy was possibly charged. He was charged with the hate crime, but Michael Cassidy accepted a plea deal to say guilty to lesser charges and avoid jail time. But also, I don't know how many of you remember this. Do you remember Arkansas and a lawmaker named Jason Rapert? Years ago, he fought to put a Ten Commandments display in front of the state capitol. It's still there. And there is still, I think, an ongoing lawsuit to try to take it down. But in 2017, when the first Ten Commandments monument was put up outside the Arkansas state capitol, a guy named Michael Tate Reed drove his car directly into it. Like, he drove on the grass, on the sidewalk at night and crashed directly into the monument. And he did it on a live stream. And he said he did it because he didn't think it belonged there. And this dude had done the exact same thing to a Ten Commandments monument in Oklahoma in 2014, though at that time he said he was just listening to the voice of Satan. Now, that dude did not get arrested. He was not in jail for anything because doctors said he was mentally unfit to stand trial. As one report put it, he first began communicating with God, according to his testimony, when he was 16, but the doctors couldn't tell if those were hallucinations or just an expression of his Christian faith. But the point is, there is a long history of delusional religious zealots destroying property because they think other groups don't deserve to be able to do what Christian groups are allowed to do. I did reach out to the Satanic Representation Campaign, which is the Satanic Temple ministry that put up that Baphomet statue. And Minister Orpheus Gower told me they could not verify if Joshua Cummings is the dude that did this. We don't know if he is the vandal, if he's the only perpetrator. There might be more. We don't know. According to Orpheus Gower, in total, we documented 12 incidents of vandalism by at least 4 individuals. These acts of destruction affected not only the original display, but also the backup installations. And they just said, while we can't comment on specifics, we are hopeful that justice will be served. So there you go. We'll keep an eye on this and see if the police do anything about it. I'm going to stop there for that story. Let's take some questions here. He's lying. They don't read your rights if you aren't arrested. Oh, yeah. He did say they read me my Miranda rights. I wonder if he was arrested, but then quickly let go. But maybe I'm speculating. Maybe the dude's just lying. That's entirely a possibility here. He's a religious nut, and his last name is Cummings. Someone more clever can make the jokes. I will let all of you in the YouTube comment threads take care of that one. I will move on. Thanks for that super sticker, Aaron. I appreciate it. All of you can also give super stickers. Why shouldn't he think he'll get off scot-free? Trump did, right? Like, at this point, I wonder what's stopping more people, from destroying non-Christian things because there are no consequences. If you're a certain political allegiance, why not just think you're going to get away with it? All the January 6th people are about to be pardoned by Trump. So they're going to get away with everything. There's like a multi-tiered justice system in this country. And if you're rich, and now apparently if you're a Republican, you can just get away with anything. I mean, it's not great for the country, but yeah, I agree. Why shouldn't he think he'll get off scot-free? So basically, he wasn't arrested. If he wasn't arrested, he'd think cops are on his side and therefore he's right. And if he was arrested, then he's persecuted and therefore he thinks he's right. Very convenient. Yeah, you're absolutely right. He damned if you do, damned if you don't. For the rest of us, he'll be fine either way. And he made a point that I don't know if he was joking or not, but he said, if I do get arrested, I'll just crowdsource all of this. And yeah, he would make a lot of money from that Give, Send, Go fundraiser that he eventually will launch. The dude who destroyed the Iowa display last winter, he set up a fundraiser for himself. I think he got 6 figures before for lawyer fees, and I don't know where all that money went. I don't think you need a lawyer worth that much to do whatever he did to accept a plea deal. So yeah, where did all that money go? Like, you can get rich off of this at this point.